Hello, this is Jordan. This video is being recorded on the late evening of Friday, March 29th, 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in. In this video, going to recap the action of the week in precious metals and the miners as well. And also we're going to look at the monthly and quarterly charts because it was the end of the month and the end of the first quarter in 2024. So starting off here, let's look at the weekly candle charts. We have gold at the top, silver at the bottom. And one thing I want to point out is prior to this week, I mean, you have the strong move this week, but previously, the two candles previously were not that great. And so that was leading me to think, well, you know, you could, if it breaks 2150 to the downside, it could retest a breakout at 2100. But when you're in a really strong trend in a bull market per se, things like this happen where you might get a couple of questionable candles, lead you to think, well, this could correct more, and it could happen. But again, if you're in a strong trend, this is what happens. You get a move like that. So gold moved above 2200. The next upside target, if you recall an article or a video I did when we had the breakout, 2350 and then 2500. So gold looks like it can reach 2350 very soon. Silver, it's all about 26. And now that gold has broken above 2200, very strong week, you know, and thinking gold is probably going to go to 2350 in the short term, I think the odds of silver breaking 26, we have to be on the lookout for that over the next month. So that can definitely happen. So 26, talked about it, written about it ad nauseum, but this coming April, be on the lookout for silver to break above 26. Now, looking at the monthly candles, obviously, this is just beautiful, people. Beautiful cup, beautiful handle. We've talked about this. I know some people are calling this a continuation head and shoulders, and that's not incorrect, but still, stepping back, this is chart porn. This is such a super bullish pattern. And yeah, we had already broken out, but now we're really clearing it with this candle. And so I wanted to go back and look at other candles around other major breakouts in gold. And this is just looking at the 2000s, and we didn't look at the 70s. But you can see here the 2005 breakout. This was a really strong candle, and immediately you had boom in the next 4 or 5 months. This breakout, I'm not saying we're going to repeat 07, 08, but you know, you had this breakout here kept running after that. This breakout here ran for a couple months and you had a little correction, kept moving. But these were different because gold, the primary or the secular trend was very much a bull market at this point. And I just put vertical lines here. We can see what happened with silver and the moves in gold. I mean, silver was in a different position every time, but you get a strong breakout move like this in gold, it will pull silver higher. So, you know, silver was stronger in relative terms compared to other gold breakouts here. Very strong move there. It wasn't as strong in a short-term sense here, but it still had a strong move in a short period of time. And then even here with this 2019 breakout, silver, I should have put the percentage increase here, but if you think about the potential for gold to get to 2350, 2500, silver still got to take out 26, but looking at these past breakouts, silver getting up to 34, that's perfectly feasible. I mean, that's not an unreasonable expectation. It might even be reasonable. I mean, we have to look at a lot more things, but silver's price action, but maybe this is an inverse head and shoulders. It's kind of complex and erratic, but nevertheless, if you get a strong move above 26, you can say there's a measured move to 34. And I'll get into the significance of 34 in the quarterly chart, I think in the next slide. Silver does have to break 28 after it breaks 26, but 26 is really the key level. And again, break above 26, 34 is really, that's the next level, the next major resistance level. So moving on to the quarterly chart, I just have to keep repeating myself, but this is just such a beautiful chart for gold. I mean, beautiful cup and super bullish cup and handle. I love it. I could talk about this all day. But here we can see the quarterly chart for silver. Oh, by the way, we've talked about it before. 26 is resistance, weekly chart, monthly chart, and also the quarterly chart. Maybe it's a little higher than 26 to be precise, but this is maybe the low 26s here. It would have been nice to see a close at 2650 or 2700 a couple days ago to end the week, month, and quarter. But we're probably going to have to wait a month or at least 3 months to see the quarterly breakout in silver. But here's why 34 is pretty important. If you go back here, the quarterly all-time high in 1980, this is actually, we'll call it 32. It's like 31.90 something, but call it 32. Then you can see here, you also saw this on the monthly chart, but this resistance here, this is really stiff. So you could, draw this line back here. It's pretty close, 32 here. A lot of failures here around 34. So if it breaks above 26 on a quarterly basis, 34, that's the next strong target. So eventually, if silver breaks above 34, then it's going to 50. And look, this is a beautiful setup. I've said in past videos, this is not a cup and handle pattern because this handle, it retraced way too much. Handles are like this. They only retrace 38%. Sometimes they retrace a little more than that, but this retraced, 70% or whatever. So this is not a cup and handle pattern. But nevertheless, more importantly, when this breaks out and gets back to 50, I've said this could be the biggest breakout of all time. So obviously we're not there yet, but we're getting damn close. We're getting closer and closer. Now, let's talk about the stocks. So in this chart, it's a GDX line chart. We have some breadth indicators, Huey breadth indicators. This is a GDX, a new highs, new low indicator. The GDX and the HUI, they're very similar. And so these blue lines, these vertical lines, they mark similar breadth readings to where we are. And I've been talking about this in the last week or so, where if you look at the similar points, when you're not in a bull market and you have really strong breadth like here and here, it's a sell signal, questionable here as well. You had a big correction. But when you have really strong breadth and you're in a real bull trend, they're basically telling you that the strong breadth leads to stronger, more momentum, and a lot more buying to come, as happened here, and then here as well. Now, sometimes you get, this similar breadth reading, sometimes after a really long or big move, you get really strong breadth. It's actually at a top. So the key is, do you want to see that really strong breadth like soon after a bottom? It can't be like a day or two, maybe a couple weeks, or something like you saw here and here, although there wasn't that much more upside. But look where we are now. So you want to see, we saw it here, but this wasn't a tiny pullback. But we're seeing it again. But this is, we're coming off of, potentially significant bottom. So this is early enough. These strong breadth readings that I'm leaning towards, this is going to be a signal. This is a bullish signal rather than we're making a top. Yes, the market could pull back a little bit before it goes higher, but I think eventually this is going to move higher and probably eventually get to here. Time frame, nobody's sure of that, but we'll worry about that in another video. Trying to keep this short as my time's running down below 10 minutes. But we see here, so this is the same thing with GDXJ, and again, we see the similar breadth indicators here. So again, the similar breadth, buy signal here, buy signal here, buy signal here. We weren't in a bull here, so kind of a sell signal, though the market went a little bit higher. Again, this here is questionable either way, but I like the setup. I like how strong breadth is, and considering we're running up to resistance, maybe get a little pullback, but then if you get even stronger breadth, there's a lot more room to run, potentially. That's all for this video. Hope you all had a great week. I hope you all had a great Good Friday, and hope you enjoy Easter weekend. Happy Easter to everyone out there. And consider subscribing. Go to thedailygold.com/premium if you're interested in the stocks that I think can really leverage this bull market in gold and silver. We're looking for the highest quality, smaller companies that have the most room to run. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys again very soon.